Wait for some more people to get in here. We gotta wait 1 minute for me to even see you guys, which is crazy. But yeah, let me make sure I got everything. I missed my parlay by one game. Damn, Brewers lost to the Marlins. One game, that would have been $3 grand right there. One game. Boston held on and beat the Yankees. So yeah, and my Phillies won. Let's see if we can get more people in this time. Let me see where we at. Okay, let's see. Two people. There it is. Twisted Reality, what's the deal? First one I see. N1, what's the deal? We got 4 people so far. Let me see. Kendo Art. I don't want to butcher your name, but what's the deal? 7 people. We've been on for only 2 minutes. But you know what I noticed is, and I didn't realize this because, like I said, I don't usually do live. I'm new to this whole thing. What I noticed is when I usually get off of live, like you'll see, it says like 7 people right now, 13 now. What I've been noticing is when I get off and then I'll look at the views, that's the thing. So what I realized is only a certain amount of people or certain people they let comment, but there's actually thousands of people watching. So that first live I did, it was like 300 people or something like that, but it was like 4,000 views. So it was like a bunch of people watching. So now I'm understanding how this shit works a little bit. It's more people watching, not everybody is in the comments, you know, in the chat, but it's a lot of people watching. So yeah, shout out to everybody that's watching. You know, chime in if you can. But I'm realizing now there's actually hundreds of people who is watching versus the people that's actually in the chat. So yeah, that's what I had to really start to realize. It's like more people on here, but only right now 16 participating in the chat. Fly Eagles fly, yes sir. Yeah, I mean, I definitely been shadow banned. I went live earlier today. I told you guys I'll be back at 7:30. I made it 7:45. You know, black folks can't be on time for shit sometimes. I should break down words of white people. Mike David, what's the deal? Thanks for checking that out. Facts by Tony, what's up? Salute. South Philly, JC, what's the deal? Oh yeah, Eagles definitely gonna be nice this year for sure. I can't wait. I'm excited about this season for actually a lot of teams. I sports bet, so you know I don't try not to get too attached to certain shit, but it's gonna be looking good this year as far as betting. Patricia, what's the deal? Hey, let me see. Light traps. Ooh, that's good. That's something we'll get into down the line. Uh, you light traps is something that yeah, we deal with a lot. Basically, it's a lot to get into with that. Where we at 23 people. Want to get a few more people in here. Appreciate you guys for popping up on Saturday night. I know it's summertime. People got shit to do. Some of you guys, you know, at work or wherever. So I appreciate you guys showing up. JC. Where we at? 20. Yes. For those of you guys who didn't see that earlier chat, but I was supposed to go live tonight for the lecture. The lecture is going to be Tuesday. So I sent out emails to everybody. If you never paid, remember you got the email. I sent those out. So I let you guys understand Tuesday's just the best day to do it. A lot of people are not getting the emails anyway, so or seeing the link. So I wanted to give it more time. Plus, to pick the correct venue, as far as like live streaming, we're testing stuff out. So I want to make sure it's not going to be any glitches or bugs once we go live on that, because there's a lot in that presentation. Definitely gonna have a whiteboard and stuff I want to show. So I want it to go smooth. So Tuesday is just a better day to get that out. Oh yeah, definitely like sports. My last couple lives I was in Phillies jersey, so I'm usually I sports bet heavy. I sports bet real heavy. I've been sports betting since I was a little kid. My uncle used to bring home office pools. Let us bet sports, and if we won, we got 20 or $100 bill. And when you little, when you get a $20 bill or $100 bill, that's like everything. So sports betting stick with me ever since then. Excuse me. Joseph Murray. What's the deal, guys? Lost, what's up? How to be fit over 40. I need to understand that too. I'm working on that. No, I haven't read that book. Yeah, so supposedly Terminator is a prequel to The Matrix. The woman who wrote it did a video talking about it. I remember her, but I remember her for some type of controversy she had with them, as far as like I think they like shortchanged her on the money or something like that, which they always do when it's a black person involved. But I remember her, I think, going to court and winning against the Wachowski brothers for her work on The Matrix. So the last time I seen her was about something with that. But recently, it's been a video surfacing where her talking about how Terminator is a prequel to The Matrix and Sarah Connor is Neo's mother and all this stuff. Like, I don't know how that works. But as far as the esoteric part, I get everything she's saying about that. That is definitely deep. And it's basically speaking to what I was saying as far as, uh, the children of men being these robots, we creating these AI, the children of men, and going against God's son, which would be Neo, and it's this whole clash or what have. It's all esoteric stuff, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, I was aware there was an eclipse. I thought it was going to be tomorrow, but supposedly it was today. Oh yeah, good question too. By the way, Bobo, which that happens to be my brother's nickname, Bobo. Yeah, your consciousness can bypass anything. Like whatever your consciousness is setting you to do is what you're supposed to do. Like you have to really convince your subconscious that the direction you're going is correct if it's other than what your subconscious wants you to do. So it's like it goes back to that whole thing when people saying, God is God's will and God is controlling you and everything like that. It's just your subconscious controlling you. Um, to get around that, it takes a lot of meditation. Wait for some more people to get in here before I really get into this live. Snow Blunt Talk, what's the deal? Yeah, weed, I have no issues with weed. Like I said, my issue with weed only is to not use it for recreational use, but for meditation. That's what its true purpose of it is. It's for you to use it for meditation purposes if you are at that level to use it. When you smoke weed, you are, you're altering your state of consciousness, as we know. And to alter your state of consciousness for what reason? Like, what would be the reason to do that? To just, walk around or whatever. If you chilling and you smoking weed and you get high, and you're just trying to relax and mellow out. Cool. That's what the hippies was doing back in the 70s. You'll see them sitting on the couch, just mellowing out. But meditation was what the Hopis, the Indians talked about using it for. And when we go back and we backtrack the use of it, that's what it was used for, to go deeper into meditation, which it'll get you there because you're altering your state of consciousness and you're going deeper, within yourself. So to waste it, for recreational use, is kind of a waste. And then you kind of messing with your dream state. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of playing with that. So I recommend it for meditation if you're at that level. Recreational use, if you're just trying to mellow out, I don't see, too much wrong with it at that point. But some people smoke weed and drive, and the people roll down, drive down the street blowing weed out the window. Why the fuck would you want to do some shit like that? You want to alter your state of consciousness while you're on the road? Like, that's not a good place to do that. Other than the Olmec, I mean, it's a lot of Black Native American tribes, the Seminoles. We had, it's the book I put out called about the Black Native Americans that was written by Native Americans. The ones that the white people say are Native Americans. What's it called? I think it's called Black Indian. But they wrote the book basically talking about the Black Indians that was before them, the true Native Americans. So I'm going to get into that book because there's a lot in there. But there's some stuff I wasn't in agreement with that's kind of not unproven. But we'll touch on that book eventually. Yeah, if the Egyptians, Crystal, that's a good question. Egyptians stayed in power. Um, that just couldn't happen. It's just if they stayed in power and was able to do what white folks did, and as far as enhance our experience consciously, on this physical level, then yeah, I think so. I think it would have been a way better place. They were stuck in the past too much. Like I said, the ancient Egyptians wasn't accepting of anything new, anything outside of them. They didn't accept it. They didn't care about it. They was focused on the past, focused on what was before them, and they knew what was going on. That was kind of the issue because we needed them to basically move forward, to grow in consciousness, to make new experiences. And that's what it's about. That's how you expand consciousness, to have new things to perceive, new things to experience. And ancient world wasn't giving us that because they were stuck in the past. That's why it was this big decree to get them out of the ancient ruins, the ancient ways, and into something different. And that's what we see what happens. So you look around the world, a lot of those civilizations like in India and China, they're not living on those ancient lands. Those are like tourist attractions now. And they moved them away from that so they can get out of that mindset of what was in the past and try to, move forward. Jazzman, what's the deal? AT Jazzman, appreciate you. Let me see. And what's up? Yeah, YouTube ain't letting nobody know shit. I be on this joint, and it's like a lot of people hit me up after that live stream I did earlier. A lot of people would hit me up. I was like, damn, you went live? What the hell? Yeah, D Griff, I know a lot of people ain't getting no notifications, man. That's how they doing me. Let me see. Yeah, that's a holistic. That's like that's how it happens with meditation. Like in the beginning, when you starting out, man, you gonna be falling asleep. Like you're gonna fall asleep. What you want to do is let your mind wander, plain and simple. Like in the beginning, that's what you want to do. Let your mind wander so you can get used to just being in meditation state and dwelling on something. After a while, when you can sustain that without falling asleep, and then we call it daydreaming. The next thing you know, you snapping out of it, and you're like, oh shit, I done thought about a whole bunch of stuff, and so much time has passed. Once you get through that, then you start focusing on what you want, and let the daydream take you to that place. So the stuff you're focusing on as far as where you want to be at in life, things you need to do, when you start in meditation, seeing that and seeing yourself do those things, then you're good. Then you're on that right track. Then now, after a while, when you start getting into meditation, you're going to focus right on the things you need to do and the stuff you want to do and see yourself doing it. Like if you got a goal in life you're trying to achieve, think about what you need to do to get to that point. And that's what you want to be doing in meditation. Like, damn, what are the steps I need to do to get to this point? And then research that stuff if you need to. Like, if I need to read a specific book, or I need to go here and do this, or get this type of paperwork or that, focus on that, what you need to do and everything like that. And then you'll start in your daydreaming, seeing yourself do it, which is programming yourself so you can actually go out and do it. So then once you out of meditation and in the real state, real world, your actions will be following what you meditated on. You'll start doing shit based on meditation. That's how you program yourself. And that's the problem. A lot of people are not doing that. So they don't even know how. You basically walking out of here. That's what we call lost. You have no purpose. You walking out here basically going off of what you've seen on TV or what have you, or I gotta be to work at this time or what have you. But if you program yourself to basically go off of what you set yourself to do as far as the programming, then you'll do that. You'll start doing that naturally, normally, instead of just like out of the blue, whatever's going on. You focus on shit that got nothing to do with your goals, and that's a problem. Where we at 61 people, we getting there. Yeah, my kinetic spirituality. It's a lot of different practices on that. A lot of people got different ways of doing that, and me personally, from everything I've been studying, and like I said, when I went to Thailand, I really sat with the monks. I was there for a month, and I sat with the monks and speaking with monks and talking to them. Being in Tibet, being in Thailand, and all the information I got from them about meditation and how it's supposed to go is what I tell you guys. As far as focusing on what you want, you get to a certain point. Like so you go from, once you master just being in that meditative state, and then you master just programming yourself, there's another step, and it's just a natural flow when you get in meditation that as soon as you get into a position, you're going right in. Excuse me. You're going right in, and that's where you want to get to, and then you go in, and you kind of, after a while, you'll be in a state of basically almost like a dream state, but you're awake. It's hard to, like a daydream, you know what I'm saying? But your eyes will be closed. It's a daydream, your eyes closed, but you're not asleep, but you kind of sleep. It's tough to explain. So you're consciously dreaming. It's like when you get to that level, that's far. And at that level is where you can introduce, like, when you see the monks do it, they have like incense burning, or they do it by water. It's a lot of stuff you can start bringing in to get you deeper in the meditation, where it would seem like you sleep, but you're not sleeping. You're like really deep in meditation. And that's where you want to get to. What's the deal? No edit. Live Will, what's up? Yeah, Trump saying you don't have to worry about voting anymore soon. Yeah, I mean, that's basically, once the election is done, you ain't got to worry about voting no more. I mean, I think we are quite possibly looking at the last American president. Whoever gets elected is probably going to be the last president. And I think the world will be completely different after this. and we'll have a global leader versus a president. So I don't think we're gonna deal with presidencies after this election or these two people, because I think whoever wins is going to win 2 terms if we get to that point. And I appreciate you. No, see, what you want to be in meditation is like position. So laying on your back is not good. You want to be sitting up. Sitting on the edge of the bed is a good way because you want to have your back straight. You can have your back straight laying down, but then you don't know the difference between sleep and awake. So being in a position like this or in a lotus position, of course, but having your back straight is where you want to be. So you kind of sort of want to stretch and everything. There's a lot of stretches you can do before meditation to get loose and get energy flowing. So do stretches first before you get into that position, and then once you either sit in a lotus position or back straight, sit at the edge of the bed or edge of a chair, is good to meditate. And it's you want to be comfortable but not too comfortable. Yeah, there's actually a way to measure your body energy. You can actually measure energy in kilowatts. You can measure your energy. There's actually like little. They have it on Amazon too, as a matter of fact. It's actually like this little machine that you can put these little things on your finger. You can put them on your ears too, to measure your body energy. And it's a lot of instruments out there that you can use to measure your energy and how much heat and energy you're emitting. It's weird as hell. I mean, you've seen those science experiments where people power a light bulb with their hands. Some people use the potato and they use something, as a grounder, and you can actually power a light source from your hand. So you actually emitting energy right now as we speak, but at a really low level. Yeah, so I talked about that before, Marcus. What's the deal? But yeah, they definitely changed the day. It used to be Saturday. We know the church changed a bunch of shit. The day of worship was Saturday, and they changed it to Sunday, which Saturday, of course, would be the Sabbath. But Saturday represents the black sun, the black square Saturn, which they was praying to back there then. And then once they changed everything and switched it over to this new sun, we get Sunday. So they just changed it. Everybody was on Saturday, even which the Jews are still on Saturday. But yeah, they definitely changed the day of worship. Yeah, it's definitely discipline at the end of the day, man. It's just like, a lot of people take their phone for granted. If you really set a lot of shit up in your phone as far as like scheduling, whether it be with fasting, eating, meditation, or what have you, it really helps out to set, the timer in your phone, because most people keep their phone with them at all times to go and do shit. And then you won't skip or forget. After a while, it's just going to be automatic as far as meditation. Yeah, JC, I actually experienced sleep paralysis. I was experiencing it for a while when I was younger, and I used to wake up and be just frozen for probably like 6, 7 seconds. And it all started after a crazy dream I had with this freaking nurse lady trying to give me a needle, and I woke up and I couldn't move. And for like a while after that, I would just like wake up and just be like, stuck. 1 second. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, phone for before meditation, but if you meditating, you don't want to be nowhere near any electronics, to be honest. Like, be as far away with electronics from electronics as possible. Closet is good. Anywhere where you're not around a TV or radio and stuff like that is good. Excuse me. Who's 25? Ooh. Oh man, yeah, Rastafarians debating a Rastafarian about smoking weed. That's a losing argument right there. They're not going to be trying to hear that. Yeah, but I agree with you. They probably couldn't keep a sentence together. High as hell. I mean, it's just not. I mean, you got to think about it. You're altering your state of consciousness, and you're going to have to. It's going to require a lot of focus. One, for you to be trying to focus while you high as shit. So it's just not good to be trying to smoke and maintain. It's better to just use it for meditation, or if you're just trying to relax. A lot of people use it for pain, and that works. So it's different uses besides meditation. But just recreation and just to smoke to say fuck it, smoke is I think is a waste. Uh, yeah, hours of sleep. I mean, it depends on the person. Like me, I'm weird. I can function off of 2 hours of sleep, and that's just from boot camp. Like it's been like that ever since boot camp when I was in the military. Ever since then, like I require very little sleep. And then with meditation, if you meditate a lot, that's you're gonna find that happening anyway, because you're kind of charging yourself with meditation, because you're kind of tricking your subconscious and your cells to charge. Because when you go to sleep, what happens? You're charging. So when you meditate, it's kind of like your body recognizing, your subconscious recognizing. And this is after a while, after like years of meditation, your subconscious start to recognize that you're in that state, and it'll charge while you're in meditative state. This is what the monks talk about, and this is what I was taught about meditation as well. It definitely works because it's been working for me for a long time. Jasmine, good joke. I talked about Gematria briefly in a couple videos. It's really confusing, and a lot of people get confused by it because it's like different versions, kind of, sort of. Excuse me. Black Indians book. So it's I forget the author of the Black Indians book, but it's a couple books about Black Indians, but it's one specifically that's by the Navajo, and it's one that's by I think it's the Centennialese. A couple of Native American tribes that it's a couple of them that wrote books on Black Indians. I have a couple of videos on YouTube that I put that in. I just forget the name of them. But I'll post it. I'll post that book on my Instagram. So watch my Instagram, and I'll post that book up there. A couple of those books actually. Where we at 71. I'm gonna wait till we get at least to 100. I understand, like I said before, it's probably like a couple thousand people watching. I realized that there's more people watching that's actually in the chat. I started to notice that when I got off, because when I got off the last live this morning, where we had like 100 and something people, well, when I got off of it, I saw it was freaking, a couple thousand views, or like 1,000 and some change views. So it's a lot of people watching, but it's just not everybody's not in the chat, of course. Yeah, it's a lot of athletes that meditate. Let's see. Yeah, it's a lot of athletes that meditate, that talk about meditation. Remember, Michael Jackson meditated. Michael Jackson had a freaking hyperbolic chamber. Prince meditated. If you look at a lot of intellectuals, they'll tell you that they meditate. A lot of these rich white folks meditate all the damn time. People got meditation rooms. Remember, if you guys seen what's his name, Russell Simmons, his meditation room was actually fucking sick. He had a nice meditation room. There's a lot of rich people that keep those rooms because they understand, they know they got a lot to deal with and process, so they meditate a lot. And I think you got to take the time, and it's tough to do because there's so many distractions. But you got to take that time to separate yourself and meditate. And yeah, and not trying to be funny, you can do the shit on the toilet. To be honest, like you can meditate in the bathroom. It's like you got to take the time and have that time to yourself to get into meditation wherever you can find it. Some people are just super busy, but one thing I don't do, I don't skip on meditation. It's something that I do regularly. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a lot of athletes that meditate. We had 75 people. So yeah, let me see. Who is that? Photographing? I don't want to butcher your name, my bad. But yeah, Photoshop, I've been working with Photoshop since the beginning, man. Since it first released, I've been on Photoshop. And when I was in film school, we used Adobe everything. I went to Los Angeles Film School, got my degree in the science of film from there. So like everything you guys see with the intro and all that, that's where I learned all that stuff at. But I'm really good with Photoshop. And my idea is like I always been into like graphic design, visual arts, and stuff like that. My son is the same way. He's a really good artist, good tattoo artist too. But I've always been into that stuff. So like the ideas just come out, and like every DVD picture that I did, I mean every one that I released, I did every single one. All of the covers, I did all that shit. It's not hard to do it, to be honest. My intros, I did all the intros and everything like that. It's just you get those ideas, and for me, they come quick because I just been immersed in that whole world of visual arts and graphic design stuff like that for a long time. Oh yeah, it was Anthony. Yeah, I know a whole bunch of us. We out here. Excuse me. So Marcus, yeah, like usually, like when I really started to see meditation work, dude, like you get greedy, and because like during that time, I took it upon myself to cut everybody off for like 2 years. Nothing personal, but it was a lot going on in my life during that time, and I was like so immersed in the information, and I was just like hopping on planes, traveling everywhere, flying all over the place. And I would be in meditation for hours, man. I'm talking like 6, 7, 8 hours. I would be in and like get up. As soon as I come out of it, I'm like in the bathroom because I was like, I really thought like this is some real shit. Don't think I'm crazy. Like I really thought I was on to something that other people wasn't on to, because I was like, I was seeing shit before it happened. Not to sound spooky or anything like that. Reflexes was so good. Like I was like really hooked. And then I started to see the difference and started to notice like my thought process and the way I moved was different. I was actually doing what I was meditating on, and I was like, setting shit up to follow my goals and everything like that. So I was really into it for a while, and I would be in meditation for hours and hours. Now I don't have to meditate that long. I'm usually in it like 2 hours. It's probably like the max I'll go, but I'm usually doing something. Um, at that time. Hold on one second. Okay, yeah. So a couple people, real quick, because I see some people buying the spots for the live stream. So in this description, because this is for the people that's here. If you're on live and you watch it right now, you're gonna be the only ones who get this deal. So it's $24.99. The link is in my description for this live. So when this live is over, that link will be done. So anybody who want to grab a spot for the live stream Tuesday, grab it from this link right here that's in the description. It's only $24.99 for everybody that's on this live right now. So make sure you guys grab it. There's other links there as well for people who want it. A lot of people ask about never paid gift membership and all that. All the links is in this description. But during this live right now, it's $24.99. Make sure you guys use that link that's in the description before I forget. Yeah, I'm actually going to Kemet in September. So coming up pretty, that's the whole goal, to go out there in September and take a couple people. And then after that, see how it goes and see what's going on with the world. I want to start doing that, doing some tours and taking people out there. I'm going. The plan is to go with a lot of guys who I talk to, a lot of you guys I talk to personally. Yeah, we're going to take a nice little group out there, and we're going to do live. And like I said, I got a lot of trips planned coming up. So we'll be doing some lives from a lot of those places, and doing some lectures or what have you, and that's the goal coming up. So I'll take some people, and I'll probably like pick maybe 3 or 4 people from off of here, not this live, but from off of YouTube that want to go. If you guys got the funds or what have you, we'll take care of some of it, but it's not going to be too much, for the people who want to go. But I really want to start doing those tours later on, because I can't really plan anything now because war is coming. It's like nowhere around there. We got a minimal time which I think this year and probably beginning of next year we might be okay. But I expect us to be in war, after next year or after next year. Yeah, if you meditating at least 15 minutes, you good. 15 minutes is good when you're starting out, man. Like that's a long time to be in meditation. You got to think about how long that is. So 20 to 25 minutes, 20 to 40 minutes, that's fucking good. That's a good way, especially like when you're when you daydream. When you was younger, yeah, you should still be doing it now. But when you was younger, you used to daydream all the time, not knowing what you was doing. And it's good now when you go in meditation and then you come out of it knowing that you was in, you was gone. You should be in a conscious state, but seeing everything as if you were sleeping, like the dream world, as far as you focusing in meditation. That's how it should go. But you should be awake while you're doing it. And you're going to know it, while you're in. Roll call 12, what's the deal? Appreciate you. Hoop Daddy 7, what's the deal? Yeah, I remember a We Fit. They had the meditation on there. All right, where we at? 76. I think I gotta start getting this because I don't have much time. You see, one thing, teach kids stuff. Yeah, so a lot of people, there's a lot of people now, and I'm seeing a lot of videos on TikTok where people teaching their kids to meditate, and the people who understand and get it. Man, I get so many questions about meditation. It's probably one of the things people ask questions about the most. But for kids with meditation, it's good because kids will get it more than adults. We're lost at this age. Like a lot of people got too much shit on the brain. But with kids, to start them out young, Dad, it's good because their mind is just so full of everything. But to get them in that mindset to start focusing on what they want at a young age and get into meditation, and then kids love doing it. They'll do it because they got the time to do it anyway. Edward Hill, what's the deal? So the link ain't working for you. Is it the link that's in the description that you're trying? Like I said, man, they be sabotaging me. So I know a lot of people email me and be like, "Yo, the link ain't working," and I sent the right link. It's just how this shit be going sometimes. Let me see. Let me see something. I see. Sorry about that, but I see the link is working on my phone. Of course, it's gonna work for me, but people gonna have issues for it. Yeah. So that link is in the description for 24.99. So look in the description. You should get. Okay. Yeah. Somebody just bought it. Just popped up on here. So somebody just got it for 24. So I know it should be working. Sometimes it works for some people. Sometimes it don't work for everybody. It's fucking weird as hell. But send me an email and I'll send you the link. If you guys got any trouble while this live is, because the link is going to be done after this live is over. It's going to be done. So make sure you guys grab it for 24. And it's going to go back to 39 after this. So I'm only doing this for everybody that's jumping on the live. So making it at a lower price. But if you're having problems getting it now, just send me an email and I'll send you the link to your email when this live is over. So you can get it for the 24.99. Ooh, JR, where you been? Lucifer represents a lot. Lucifer is Venus. Lucifer the light bringer. Like Lucifer is, it's Lucifer is wrapped up in that whole Saturn, Venus, Zeus, Athena whole cabal. So we got into that deeply in Saturn Satan Final. So make sure you watch Saturn Satan Final. That definitely answers any questions on Lucifer, because we get into Lucifer in that video. And Venus being Lucifer, Venus being the light bearer, because Venus is the first light that you see, and Venus actually does go in that whole star shape as I showed you guys in the video. It actually goes in that pattern, which is where it comes from. So Lucifer being just the feminine aspect of Satan, when you understand. So we got into all that in Saturn. It's the reason why whenever they show Lucifer, you see pictures of Lucifer, he's like feminine looking. So like, you know, you'll understand when, because it represents Venus, the feminine energy. So that's why. So it's the feminine aspect of, you know, Lucifer, of Satan. Ryan D'Angelo, man, I appreciate you, man. There's a lot of young people on here that's been watching, man, watching for a long time. I appreciate you sticking with it. And yeah, you in Baltimore, so I already fucking know, man. It's rough out there. I got some peoples out there. But yeah, you already know. Stay conscious and stay away from the bullshit. And that, you know, the streets is not for, it's not for us, man. It's a trap. Like, stay conscious, focus on what you're trying to do, be successful. You're 25. You got you got so long to go, man. You got time to fuck up and fix it all back together again. Like, so 25, being conscious and being on the right track now is the right way to be. What you should be focusing on now is just investing. You know, save your money, put your money away, invest, and just stay conscious and stay getting this information in yourself. 27 is cool. You're still good. What's that, D Griff? Let me see. What's up? Yeah, 27. Like I'm telling you, like this information is really for a lot of young people, because if you get this mindset now when you're young, you're gonna be straight, you know, in the future. I tell my son all the time. He's 23. That dude, you so fucking lucky. You young and you already conscious and you already focused on goals and everything like that. Because we didn't have that. You know, our parents ain't no shit. They fell into the trap for the most part. Some of our parents did, but yeah, it's good to be focused on this information now and to be conscious now, because you want to get to where you want to get to quickly as possible, man. Don't waste no time. He's got plenty of time to play, plenty of time to party and bullshit. It ain't going nowhere. Get successful first. You know, do your own thing first, and everything else will come. Excuse me. D Griff, yeah. To get into tech, man, I recommend the best way to start if you're starting out. I would go the book route. I know that's kind of like boring, but it's so much that's in books, and you can couple that with online. So the good thing about being having YouTube and everything like that is a lot of beginner videos for anybody that's getting into tech. And I would definitely start there. Get the books, buy those books. The books are a little pricey, but I would get them and start there so you can get the information in the books that they're leaving out online. And some of those guys recommend books, and you know, I would buy those books. But if you're getting in tech as far as like, you know, software or you know, being like a software engineer and everything like that, then yeah, start there. Start with coding, and then it'll take you, sky's the limit after that. And it's not hard, because like coding is fun. You know, when you type code and then you see it, what it turns into, you kind of get hooked on that. It's like a little high to it. It definitely releases dopamine. But I definitely highly recommend getting into coding and learning that, and then, you know, going from there. Yeah, man, it's tough finding conscious women these days. Like, it's tough, and because like women, especially black women, are attacked the most. Like, they are attacked the most to be what we see in this hip hop culture, to be promiscuous and just like out there. Like, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're serious and you're looking for a woman to, you know, settle down with and everything like that, then like finding a conscious woman is tough, because the good ones are taken. It's a lot of them that I mean, you got to find one that you like. You know, they might be like not visually appealing to you, but they're out there. There's a lot of them out there. A lot of them follow me. and it's just tough to make that work because so many people is just sucked into this culture that it's hard to build a relationship with a conscious person, and they're not really conscious. You know, some people be on here bullshitting, so it's tough. You find one, keep her. Bobo, yeah, free code camp. That's cool. It's a good platform. Yeah, ivory. Yeah, for sure. I'm seeing that too, man. There's a lot of black women with white dudes, and the white dudes get. I mean, it's these black women. I mean, if it's love, you know, it's about money most of the time. But they getting saved. Believe it or not, the ones that's having kids, it's like on the rise. This is during this time is the most interracial marriages and relationships more than ever. It's like a thing. You see the memes all over social media. It's a whole freaking page dedicated to black women with white men on Instagram. So same thing, vice versa, and just sites just dedicated specifically to mixed races and everything like that. So you see that a lot. Like it's just like a thing that they've been pushing for a long time because reasons I touched on before. Yeah, Lorenzo, you are completely right. I talked about that with coding. So now you have with all these AI programs, you can just really type in and ask for code. It is the best thing ever. I'm not even going to lie. It's just the best. Where you can just ask AI for a code and they'll spit the code out to you. Or if you're coding and you run into a problem, you can just have AI fix the code for you. So yeah, definitely coding ain't going nowhere because you're still gonna have it in that facet. But as far as you having to type code out, that's about to be a thing of the past. Yeah. So, Dr. Umar, Ryan, to answer your question. Dr. Umar, definitely super against dating outside of your race. Me personally, I don't think it's that deep. I think the time for that is past now. Like that's something that's like more on point years ago. Now we're like so past that time and that mindset because like uh, even still, I don't see the harm in anybody dating outside their race if it's real. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if you playing around, why would you wanna like you get a black woman, don't mess that up. Keep that relationship going. The problem is we've been sabotaged to be at war with each other, and that's the issue. So like it's just like we're being forced to date outside of our race because of the issues black people have with black women and everything like that. That's been set up to be that way. But I don't see a problem with it because I think we're past that time where we need to be like only messing with each other. I think that time was in the past. Now it's like completely different. It's completely different thinking right now. Yeah, like everybody got a preference, man. Like I can't sit here and tell people don't ever date outside your race and that's something wrong with that. Because at the end of the day, everybody comes from a black woman. That's where it all started, so I can't tell people to like stick to one specific race and everything like that because that's just not being real. It's a lot of people who go out there who are looking for relationships and then unfortunately if it's not working with a black woman for whatever reason they go somewhere else. And that's the problem. It was a whole documentary I watched about these rich black dudes that was going to Brazil to find wives. And they basically broke down, I think I talked about this before. Excuse me. They basically broke down all the reasons that they was doing it. And it was all valid reasons and valid points. So that's a lot to get into. But it's just like I can't knock nobody for doing them for that reason. It's like you can't like you can't fault yourself or be upset with anybody that's looking to find somebody to be in love with because it's outside their race. It's like love who loves you. Don't be stuck in a relationship with somebody who don't appreciate you and don't love you or what have you. Like, what are you supposed to do? You got to go where the love is, and don't be stuck with somebody who don't appreciate what you do for them. LR36, I appreciate it. I completely agree. Like, yeah, I don't think race is, it shouldn't. It's just so primitive, like to me. Like my thinking, where I'm at, like thought wise, as far as like on the black white shit, it's like so far past that, Jim Crow black white bullshit. Because I know what that really is. Like when you conscious and you understand what's really going on, what that is, and what this is about, then yeah, I mean, um, I got nothing bad to say about Dr. Umar. I disagree with him on that and a couple other things. I don't think it's that deep. Yeah, for sure. Black Magic 360. I have no idea who that is. Yeah, so Marcus, this is definitely going to be a video before on Tuesday before we get into the whole lecture. We're going to talk about Black Morris in this video as well. Athena, what's the deal? So like I have a whole video on the Moors, my Moors DVD I put out years ago. So we really get into it in there, but that's really on the Moors. The Black Moors is like after the Moors when you understand um, what happened with that. So we definitely gonna get into that deeper in that whole lecture. Yeah, like a lot of people got uh, um, mixed race parents or what have you, or step parents or what have you. Like, you guys, I posted a picture of my son. He's a little bit lighter than me, but me and his mom is black as me. Me and his mom is like super dark, but he came out a little like brown, like a little lighter. So, but me and his mom is like black, black. Me and my son's mom is like super black. So yeah, it's just weird how that goes. And melanin's always going to dominate. Everybody knows that in a lot of different ways. So it's just going to dominate, and you'll see those traits and everything like that. Like it doesn't matter who you end up laying with. You'll see yourself. Dan Calloway's points. I haven't seen his points on all that. That's something I got to check out. Yeah, I got a 23-year-old son. Yeah, my son is 23 and he's conscious. He's into all this information. He does tattoos. He's super creative. Like me, like how I was at his age. Really creative dude, and he's into so much stuff. And he's a real good kid. Like my son definitely takes after me in a lot of different ways. Yeah, I don't like it's a question people asked me a long time ago. I mean, I have dated white women a long time ago, but I could never see myself marrying a white woman. Not for no specific reason. It's just with everything going, I just couldn't see that happening. Puerto Rican, Asian, or something like that. Yeah. I was married to a Thai. Well, she was half Swedish, half Thai woman for a while in Sweden. But yeah, I just like melanin has to be in the mix somewhere. You know, Mexican, Spanish, it has to be melanated somewhere for me. But and I don't knock other people who mess with white women. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, 23andMe. There was a whole thing about that not being accurate. Like I said, do multiple DNAs if you're going to do DNA ancestry or what have you. Um, but yeah, it's so many artifacts we already found, bodies we found. I got a video on this. I talked about this in a couple of videos. The bodies we found here in America. We were in the Americas. There's no way around that. We're already here, already established and set up in Americas before Columbus ever went anywhere. So it's as I said before, and like what we were just talking about with the Native American thing. You gotta realize that it don't make sense the whole bringing slaves over here. As I said, the people they brought over here from Africa was from the kingdoms. Those are the people that was brought over. It was already black people in the Americas that they call Native Americans. We was already here in the Americas. It don't make sense for you to stuff boats full of people from Africa, right, and bring them to America. It don't make sense because, again, it's a language. It's supposedly a language barrier, right? You can't communicate with these people. You don't speak their language. So how could you get them on a boat, bring them over here, and then try to communicate with them to do work for you? And the whole time they're trying to escape, they're trying to run, or they're trying to fight you. You'll end up with a bunch of dead people. And then if you're going to do that, it makes more sense for you to be in America, since it's so-called Native Americans running around everywhere and they know the land already. It makes more sense to enslave those people, enslave them, and then have them in America working where they already know where to work. That makes more sense. It don't make sense to bring people all the way from Africa, all the way across, the Atlantic or what have you, and enslave them. And it just don't make sense. We were already here in the Americas. There's already, like, when you see those depictions and that's in that book with the Native Americans having slaves, they made deals. They use those Native Americans to basically weed out and hunt down black people in America. It's already documented. We were already here. The people that they killed was us, not them. So yeah, like they actually brought over, Africans from Africa, but they are from those kingdoms I talked about, with the Karma Kingdom, kingdoms on the Swahili coast, all those ruins, those castles I showed you guys, those kingdoms existed. So we know before the fall of those kingdoms that the Europeans was coming into those African kingdoms and doing business. Remember, the whole thing was for trade reasons. They was getting them to convert. They wouldn't convert to Islam or to Christianity, but the Africans was dominating in trade, and they had to stop that. And that's one of the reasons why they stopped it, so they can take over. Because we would be running business. Just think about that. If you think about, just Africa being, of course, the number one producer of major commodities, and we got gold, oil, everything is there in Africa. Everything you need is there in the land, and we own that shit. So, to if we would have got together and monetized the land and what we had, man, it, like, who knows where we'd be at today. It would be fucking ridiculous. This is what Garvey wanted to do. This is what I talked about with Marcus Garvey and how he was sabotaged and discredited and everything like that. But that was Garvey's plan. Garvey was like, man, we fucking already dealing with these Africans. Remember, I talked about before, where you had in the 20s up until, like, close to the 40s or what have you, you had Africans dealing with other Africans, dealing with foreign aid, basically doing foreign transactions, foreign trade, I meant to say. But we already had that documented. Garvey talked about it. This is all wrapped up with Garvey. So Garvey already understood, one, well, we doing all this trade with these African people, and not just Africans, other people from other countries who didn't mind doing trade with black folks. All this was going on. So the whole, Black Star Line and everything that was going on with him, he already had a plan trying to get black people over to Africa to educate them on what they were sitting on and to basically monetize all that shit before the white man did what they ended up doing. So remember, It's right around that time. It was a big movement in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s about going back to Africa because having the knowledge we had in America, we was hip. And they wanted black people to go back to Africa to educate them and start building over there and owning shit. But, that got shut down. What is that movie with Red Fox? Was it Cotton Comes to Harlem, I think it is. Or if you remember in that movie, he was scamming people. I forget who was what's his name who was scamming people, but the dude was scamming people with these fake ass tickets to Africa, and it was all some bullshit. It was a big scam, but yeah, that whole thinking and mindset was going on way back then to go over there and monetize those commodities and get money for African people. Oh yeah, it's definitely a correlation between Avatar and black people. You should definitely see that. Yeah, the Songhai Empire. So it's forget what video that is. The one African brother who came out because his family actually kept records of where they came from, the Songhai Empire. There's a lot of other slave families that actually kept records and they passed down like an oral tradition so they wouldn't forget of where they came from. And that exists. You'll read about it in the slave narratives and the Library of Congress have talked about that. The slave narratives, a lot of those people talk about the stories that was told about where they came from, that they were kings. That's where nigga come from. That's what they call us nigger. That's where it come from. When we know niggas means king. So it's a play on those words. So there is a lot of information out there about, the Songhai and them being enslaved and being brought over here that goes exactly to what I was saying about those kingdoms were enslaved and brought to the Americas versus just regular Bushmen, people in the wild being enslaved. They don't make sense to even do that. And brought over here. It was those people that lived in those kingdoms that was, because you got to think about it, as I said, it's a language barrier. So obviously somebody had to speak English and be able to communicate with those people being brought over here, or they spoke English themselves, because again, these were prominent people who had kingdoms and had intelligence. They want us to believe that these savages was brought over here and they saved us from a life of savagery, which is bullshit. These people was already educated when they came before they came over here. Because how else you gonna be able to plow and build and do all the shit they was doing? Roots, everybody loved Roots, but it definitely didn't go down that way as we see in Roots. Yeah, we're not a totally different race. Like the our changes is our diet and then the land that we live on. The further away from the equator you get, the lighter your skin will get. It's just that simple. If you're not in the South burning up, being black, your diet is going to change the way you look. You can eat certain foods that'll change your facial structure. You know what I'm saying? So that's all it is. We ain't no different genetically from Africans in Africa. And they know that. That's what the whole African American thing comes from. We're not no different. It's black, it's African, that's it. That's just something that these people came up with to try to separate us and get us arguing with each other. And that's the argument that the Hebrews used to say that, hey, the Africans in Africa is different from the Hebrews. Even though Israel is like where? Right there. So yeah, it's still Africa. Yeah, so this live, I wanted to get into talk about the Moors, since we doing the live lecture is gonna be on the Black Moors, and as I was saying before, I have a video on the Moors that we get into, um, but that history is what everybody needs to understand, how the Moors, excuse me, how the Moors came to be where they are today. Because remember, they was gone for a long time, disappeared all of a sudden. we get the Moors coming back and trying to basically, with this Moorish science. The Moors you see today that claim themselves to be Moors, that you see with that whole fucking Star of David, is bullshit. They're wearing the fez and everything that's Masonic. If you understand, when you start getting into the Shriners, why is the Shriners dealing with Islam? You understand, why is these people that call themselves Moors dealing with Islam and dealing with these Masons? So you understand what happened. It was taken over, and that happened a long time ago. Why is it today that you look up Moors and you see an Arab? With the whole fez on or what have you. You see an Arab when you look up Moors. You don't see black person. When you look up black or Moor, you see a black person. So they took over. So that's basically what I talked about. What the Crusades was about. Them using Arabs to basically go and wipe out the original Moors. And it's so much that play into all that. And they got wiped out, and they was reduced to basically, just work for hire and being street performers, using their knowledge to do certain things. You guys see it all the time. You go out, especially here in Vegas. If you go out to Fremont Street here in Vegas, you'll see a lot of people that got talents, man. They got skills, and they're able to juggle and flip and do all kinds of things using their talents. And you will look at them and be like, damn, you should be in a better place than, here doing what you're doing. And that was basically the Moors, the black Moors, who had all this talent and knowledge, and they was basically reduced to, to nothing. Yeah, right. Yeah, the Hebrews are fucking liars. You already know. So, yeah, the Moors that you seeing today, their whole thing is about you guys, claiming your, sovereignty or what have you. You becoming, changing your status, because the whole thing is, since Morocco recognized America, or America recognized Morocco, what have you. So you have the whole Treaty of Peace and Freedom and all that. So it's basically saying that America will recognize anybody that's a Moorish descent or what have you, and you get like different like treatment if you claim yourself to be a Moor versus being a black person. And the reason why we're not getting any remedy or help from this government is because our status is black, which means dead, and you're not able to do anything with this system because of that status. And if you do a status change and claim yourself to be a Moor based on the whole Treaty of Peace and Freedom, then you will be okay. I went into this whole thing in the Moors DVD, and it's a lot, but it's all bullshit. I'm not even go too deep in that. We're going to talk about a little bit in the lecture, but yeah, it's bullshit. A lot of those guys is booked that tried all that shit. All those people that try to do the status change and A for V and all the remedies, a lot of those dudes got locked up trying to do that shit. Sending the government these fucking checks, they're not just going to let you do that shit. Like, come on. None of that stuff was real. Yeah, exactly. Leo 77. I talked about that. They got stabbed in the back. I mean, again, you seen the pictures, and I put up a lot of those pictures where you see the Moors uh, during slavery, but they all dressed up nicely next to the white man. What is that? What's going on with that? The pictures I showed you guys of the human zoos. So you look at a lot of those pictures at the human zoos, you see human zoos, you see Moors standing there. So how you black and claiming to be black and about black people, black power, you're standing there paying to go to a human zoo to look at black people that's black like you be treated like animals. What the fuck is that all about? So it's that they basically sold us out. These new Moors, they sold us out. That's why they're in. That's why you see them with the Masons and the Shriners or what have you. That's basically the ones who sold us out. So you have Noble Drew Ali, who was basically a plant who came over here to spread their whole information. And from that, we get the whole Nation of Islam and everything else like that. These people are bought and sold. I hate to be the bearer of bad news on that, but the Jews run all that shit, control those guys. So I put the pictures up of, let me see. I think I got another phone. Because it's not hard to prove none of this shit. Yeah, so pictures like this, you guys can see Shriners, right? I mean, if you look at most of their fezzes, they have Islamic words on it. So you can tell me this white dude is Muslim. So what's going on with that? Let me see. Yeah, it's a lot of these older pictures. Let me see. I posted a lot of these in a lot of the videos. I'm trying to find some good ones. Google took down a lot of proof, man. They took down a lot of information. Yeah, if you just Google Shriners, man, just scroll through the pictures. Like they're telling you, like even with this dude, Cora, like look at the fez. Cora, this is Arabia. Like, who are these dudes? They don't look Muslim to me. So they telling you who created what and what they did. I mean, a lot of these presidents say Allah, and it's telling you right there who created this shit and who's controlling this whole thing. Excuse me. So you have a lot of these dudes calling themselves, being conscious or Moors or what have you, and they in bed with these same people. So you got Truman. Look at Truman up there with the fez on. Look at these dudes. Same boat, but they want you to be, a Moor. Let me see. Yeah, so usually when they're showing you Moors, it's always like an Arab, you know. But then when you look at a lot of the pictures of like Sunny Ali or Mansa Musa, you always see them basically with the same dress on. The Moors of Spain. So what is that? What is that whole connection? What is that all about? So that's the whole point. You can see what happened. So you basically had, they had to figure it out. They had to decide whether they was going to sell out or not. And most of them sold out. The ones who didn't sell out was killed. And then the ones who did sell out eventually got replaced by the Arabs anyway, because they weren't going to have you black running around with that power and knowledge anyway. They stripped them of that. So you can see what they did was basically put all that shit under one umbrella, and it's the same thing. Islam, the Shriners, the Moors, all the same shit, all under that one umbrella of Islam that was given to us by Rome. So it's telling you who's controlling the whole thing. It ain't hard to put that shit together. It's not hard. Let me see. So I showed you guys with Albert Pike, the highest ranking Freemason of all time, and him being one of the founders of the KKK, and all those terminologies coming from that has to do with KKK. That we see that the Quran, you have the Quran, the Music Clan. I posted all that shit before on my Instagram. Let me see. Yeah, a lot of those good pictures is gone. I have them saved on my computer. That's a good thing. But Albert Pike is skull they have when you walk into the Scottish Rite Mason Lodge in Washington D.C. That skull that's in there is his skull, which is kind of creepy. I'm trying to find this one. Yeah, because it's not a coincidence. You see the KKK with the way they dress, with the robes and everything like that, and then them looking the same as the Knights Templar. Think about that. So you see the Knights Templar, the way they dress, and then you see everything having to do with these Masons having to do with Templars. They someone's called Templar Knights, and it's the same shit. It's the same thing. Like a lot of that dress, that whole style of dress came from them first. I have an old picture. Let me see if I can find it in this phone. And yeah, this is my Instagram for anybody who ain't following. Make sure you guys follow me. I put up a lot of stuff on Instagram. I get into a lot of arguments too. So I can find this photo. Help me get to the point on this whole thing. But yeah, it's a lot. A lot of people don't even understand that connection because it's just weird for you to think about KKK and Shriners and everything being one. I posted a picture before with the KKK being at a Nation of Islam event and they was talking. The fuck they got to talk about? It's nothing to talk about. Why are they there? It's telling you what's going on and who running what. Let me see. Here it is. So you can see Albert Pike, see the whole dress, the fez and everything. See that? It's called the Chloron, the Music Clan. I posted this before. Why is something dealing with the KKK having to do with that? So you see the logo for the Shriners, the fez, and you see it on his, like, what is that? What is this and that? Why is this a thing? So yeah, 1 second. So it's a lot of deep stuff to look into when you're looking at the Shriners, the Nation of Islam, the Moors, Muslims, all that shit is the same. Man, they took down a lot of pictures, boy. Let me see if I can find this. But it's cool. This is why I keep a lot of photos. Like Wikipedia changes a lot, Google changes a lot of photos. But it's a photo I put up there of a bunch of KKK members that's at a Nation of Islam rally, and they sitting down. They like front row. You used to could Google that photo, but now it's gone. But it's all good. I don't have it in this phone. But yeah, let me get back to these questions. Yeah, man, a lot of the Latin nations is really racist against their own people. Like, the the language, the dialect of speaking Spanish. Like, if you don't speak it a certain way, especially in Spain, they don't like that shit. Let me see. Yeah, I have the NOI photos on my Instagram somewhere. I have a whole file in my computer that's like really important photos, just a lot of deep pictures, especially the ones I have of the what do you call them, the Italians, excuse me, the Italians arriving into Northern Africa, coming into Morocco and everything like that. I have pictures of them coming in on boats. Like it's like what I showed you guys with the with Egypt. So we can go back to the 1930s, and as early as the 1930s, Egypt was still black as hell. And I got the pictures to prove it. The pictures is out there. So the Arabs that's there now, when they say, "Oh, those are the Nubians," they're descendants of the ancient Egyptians. Like the original people who was there. They was there for a long time before the Arabs really took over. That part of history is unseen. It's wiped out. They don't talk about that. That's part of the whole forgotten wars thing. They basically ran those people out of Northern Africa. Yeah, I know. I show people that picture a lot. Let me see. Let me just do this. Cam Parker, I owe you 72 cents. I got you. Yeah, so I mean, the hip hop lecture is, man. I think a lot of people waking up. I was proud of the young people that was at that lecture I did at UNLV on hip hop. Those they was really woke and they got it. They understood. Like I said before, I don't expect people that's benefit from hip hop to agree with me and my stance on hip hop. I still believe hip hop is the most powerful thing that can save the black community and save black people. We just got to control it, and we don't. I don't think we ever will. But the narrative behind it is just one of destruction, destroy, stay stagnant, just don't rise above, don't come up and dethrone white people from their place of power. And like when you look at the message that's surrounding it, it's a corruption message. We can see the effects it's having on the black community, and it's worse than crack because black people, it's a mental thing. Music is so spiritual, and black people is caught up in this music, and it's hard for them to break free of it because they take so much pleasure in this music, and it's just hard for them to let it go. And then you have that, but then you have just the attachment to the artists themselves that just make it so hard. So like my whole stance on hip hop haven't changed. I listen to it, of course, but it's just like you can't. Everybody is not conscious enough to process that music, the whole culture period. So well, hip hop is the street. The street culture comes from hip hop. So if you old enough to remember, because I remember, and I'm 42, but I remember how shit used to be. Like I remember how it was. You could see the change, and even if you just do your research and go back before hip hop and look at how the black community was, we was united and just being black and having the same common goals and enemy. And hip hop changed that. The crack epidemic changed everything, and it's not tough to see that. It's like it's hard for people to accept it and just say, "Oh, you're blaming the music. It's not the music, it's the person." Well, it's a whole video I gave you guys on the calculated destruction of the black man and woman. I broke that down scientifically and showed you guys how music affects the brain, how music bypasses every defense of the mind and can program you. That's why they use it. That's why music is played in every commercial. They understand that. There is no defense for music except for consciousness. You got to be consciously aware of it. Other than that, if you're not, and these motherfuckers out here not conscious, they so lost in these streets. They don't even, they know what consciousness is, but they don't give a shit about it. They care more about, the gram and everything else and looking a certain way. So they are automatically programmed. Man, sometimes I look at some of these people, especially on these videos on YouTube and on Instagram, these shooting videos and everything like that. Like, what mindset is that? I mean, those people is lost. For you to pull out a gun in the store in front of everybody and shoot a dude and kill him in the store, witnesses everywhere, you're on camera. What, like, come on. You might as well put the gun in your mouth. Like, who comes to that conclusion, that mindset? That's a programming. There's no way in the world somebody who's conscious could consciously do that. You just wouldn't do it. It's bullshit. You're programmed. The music controls you. What's the message of the music? Gunplay. Fucking hoes, selling drugs, everything that's destroying the black community is the message. What are we seeing in the black community? Everything that message entails. It's no way. It's the music. You can't say it's just people or it's a certain type of music. That's the one that pisses me off the most. Oh, it's just the drill music. It's fucking hip hop too. All that shit is the same. You can say it's not. All the music is talking about the same shit. Whether it's rap, gangster rap, drill, hip hop, all of it has killing black people, derogatory shit with black people. It's the same shit. So you can be, a follower and like your favorite artist and be a fan and all that, but it don't take away from the message that's behind the music and that culture that's like destroying us. And until we realize that, we ain't going to come up from it. I mean, like the fact that you have somebody like, what's her name? Sexy Red and Gorilla, whatever her name is, Glorilla. Come the fuck on. That's music to y'all? Y'all people really, like, come on. Like, look at what it's clear what they're trying to do. They got the men. Now they're trying to get the black women with this whole stank ass genre of fucking hip hop that's just horrible. It's just the worst, man. They're not even putting words together correctly. It's nothing to stimulate your mind and make you think, no bars. It's just horrible bullshit. And that's what they want. That's what they're putting out there. The intellectual, the good conscious rap, the hip hop that was out there, the Diggable Planets, all that shit is gone. They don't want that kind of music out there. Yeah, Tupac is definitely my number one, period. And he was, we gotta remember, man, Tupac was in his 20s. What is that, 25? This dude was in his 20s and listened to the message and the music. He didn't even really understand what the fuck he was doing, but he was so conscious, but he didn't really grasp where he was at. Like, he was so above, even these rappers today, and the music that he put out, the message that was in his music. Like, Tupac got it. He knew it was a problem. He was trying to do something about it. And then him being involved in all this shit, he started to see, like, damn, everything is about this. Eazy-E saw it, and that's why they got rid of him. Eazy was like, holy shit, I see what they doing. Let me get ahead of this and own everything. And, they got him out of there. So it's the message was clear from him, but now, it's, you can't mix in a lot of these rappers now, the ones that people like, they mix in good messages with bad messages, and then people get really, brought in by the good message, not realizing that you can't 1 minute be about black power and black evolution and everything like that, but then the next minute you talk about killing black people. How does that work? That don't work. The message should be straight up that we need to own our shit. We need to, start educating ourselves and supporting each other. Black entrepreneurship, black business, everything that's going to raise us up. And then you can't have one artist on it. It got to be multiple artists. It has to be the platform. It has to be the culture. It has to be what we're all about. Because in their culture, that's what they're all about. It's about success, plain and simple. Excuse me. Yeah, the people you understand, like, Instagram is dangerous. Instagram is dangerous, man. Social media is dangerous because man, it gets into the whole meditation thing. These people are sitting there for hours. They're just immersing themselves, scrolling, 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 seeing shit that they can't have and people who they can't be and people who they want to be. That fucks with your energy. When you constantly scrolling and you seeing shit that you want and you don't even know how to get it, you just want it. It fucks with people's psyche. It throws them off. It changes their whole mindset because you scrolling and getting all these messages. Sometimes they're good, but most of the time there is no remedy to what you feel when you looking at this shit when you scrolling. You can just say, I got to do better, or I got to focus, I got to get my shit together, and then a lot of people don't. People too busy looking at the quick way to get that versus focusing on how to get it. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. You seeing this person got this person posted that, they doing this, and it's a lot of wanting going on, and there's not a lot of people who focusing on doing their own thing and doing something that's going to benefit them rather than being immersed in somebody else's life. I don't know how some people can sit around and just watch a person live, with these reality shows and stuff that's on there. Like, it's just a bunch of bullshit. Put that time and energy into yourself and focus on yourself and meditate, and what you're seeing, you can get on your own. Yeah, Nipsey was another good one, man. They get rid of our good ones. Yeah, they use all the rappers to. I mean, think about it. They couldn't even get creative with the shit. You know, Michael Jackson, who's bad? I'm bad. Bad is supposed to be a bad thing, right? So why are we using bad as a good thing? So that's how it started at a low level. Us calling ourselves bad. We're not good. We're bad, and then that association with being bad. Being a gangster. And I said that before in one of the videos. Like, all these rappers did was take white gangster, lifestyles and glorify it with hip hop. All those dudes was about being a gangster, a thug, or what have you. That's not us. That was them. They came out being gangsters. They was the ones all over the news being gangsters. We was trying to rise above the oppression we was going through, while the gangs was out doing what they was doing. The mob was out doing what they was doing. We took that whole mentality, and this is why they look at us the way they look at us. Like, damn, you're a wannabe. You're not even a real gangster. The real gangsters was Bugsy and all those Scarface and all those. Well, not Scarface. Scarface is in the movie, but you know what I mean. John Gotti and all those thugs. Those was the original thugs, original gangsters. All those dudes from the 20s and 30s who was in the mob and everything like that. Bugsy and I forget all these guys' names. Too many of them. That was basically gangsters. And there is days of photos, days of articles to read on all the shit they was doing around the country, the wars that was going on. It was like the news was riddled. Every day was something that had to do with these guys and what they was doing. Imagine that back then, constantly seeing white on white crime. And I talked about that before, that's what they were seeing the most before we get into this black on black hip hop shit. Yeah, Khalid Muhammad is another one of my favorite people. Well, let me see. Well, I mean, most of these rappers was following what was trending and what was selling. They didn't know no fucking better. Most of them, they had no clue. How could they even know, what they was doing was that deep? If you come from the hood, you come from poverty, and you got the skill to put words together and rap, and somebody come to you and say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you $100,000, $1 million for you to do your thing." What? And that money's gonna take you out of poverty and be cool for your whole family. Then you get there and you bring it to black folks, and they cheering and they loving it. They're not against it. The media's not against it. But you're getting money, you're getting recognition, you're getting everything you're getting from this system that's telling you what you're doing is good, but morally, it's wrong, it's horrible. And then they didn't understand the ramifications of the psychological ramifications that it would have on black people. Ice Cube already came out and basically said everything I said in that video. He came out and said it. I told you guys it was NWA. Ice Cube came out and said they used us. He came out and told you it was about programming. He came out and said it. He had a whole interview on it. Everything I said, this was recently. So everything I said in that video, he came out and basically said the same shit. And I told you guys, NWA, they used in the beginning to bring us that bullshit. And it was all reverse psychology. Because they was putting out, hey, MTV doesn't want to play this music, and these radio stations don't want to play this music. And all black people thought was racism, discrimination, not thinking about what they're trying to do. So we asked for our own destruction. We asked for it. So you have people actually protesting and saying, hey, they don't want us to play this music because it's positive music, and we're talking about, police brutality and what's happening to us. It was a trap. It was a trap. It's a Trojan horse. So them basically saying, hey, y'all don't want to play this music because y'all don't want to hear the truth. And then what did they do? Okay, we'll play this music. And then it blew up. And then they just basically went, you see how music was, hip hop was? It was positive. You had Run DMC, you had Public Enemy, EPMD, all these guys that had all these songs, but they had a bunch of uplifting black power songs, consciousness songs. And then that was gone. The record label would say, enough of that shit. I only want to pay you dudes to talk about hoes and bitches and shootings and killings and drugs and stuff like that. So, it ain't no blame Tupac, it's blame the label. Because the label said, we're not going to pay you and give you the money to feed your family unless you talk about this. You can put what you want on your album if we approve it. You can put some good shit on your album because we want album sales. But mainstream, what are we hearing? What are we seeing? You know what I'm saying? So with NWA, I mean, just like, come on, fuck the police? Like, really? Like, what kind of message you thought that was going to get? Like, I mean, it was like, come on. Some of the stuff was real easy to see, but it was a setup. It definitely was a setup, and it's been controlling us ever since. There's the biggest thing, the biggest weapon against us has been hip hop, and people just so brainwashed today they don't want to see it because we find joy in it, entertainment in our own destruction. Monster 33, what's the deal? Yeah, I know, dudes. I mean, hip hop is clearly programming. And what's his name? It was Cat Whams, and it was somebody else that came out and was on point about all these young rappers being killed because basically when they signed a record deal, they also signed life insurance policies. And these rappers not producing or doing what they're supposed to do with that advance, they're worth more money dead. I mean, like, look at all these back to back to back to back to back, up and coming hip hop artists that just getting killed on the street or dying in mysterious ways. Like, come on, like that's just crazy. Like, you should be scared to become a new artist after all these, these new artists getting killed and murked, and it's crazy. So, who was that? I think it was just something that happened with PNB Rock. His killer, they said, wasn't mentally stable or what have you to stand trial. I was just saying something about that. Matter of fact, I think it was my girl that told me about that shit. So, yeah, I mean, hip hop is dangerous right now. Yeah, I mean, Pop Smoke and Nipsey, like, especially with Nipsey, man. Nipsey was doing so much, and it's fucking crazy. Like, I don't got my wallet. Like, I just live right there by Marathon. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of rappers that come out later on and talk about it, like what they seen, like in the industry and how, because I was in industry. I worked for Universal, I worked for Sony. So I talked about this a while ago. I had my core studio in Philadelphia. I was developing artists with Sony. I was working with a girl group that's from Philadelphia. I was in that business. I know how that business goes and what that entails. It's just no fucking way I was cool with a lot of shit that goes on with that whole thing. Yeah, you can't. What was that? Monster 33. Yeah, You can't stage sports. You can pay off players though. You can pay off referees. You know, and that's what's going on now. The betting. That's why I said bet accordingly. I'm a sports bettor, so I know. So you can. There's no way you can stage an entire event. You can pay off a few people to have games go your way, and that's what's going on. Excuse me. Because it's not a coincidence. You have the NFL, partnerships with DraftKings, partnerships with Caesar Sports Books and all these other sports books. There's no way the NFL should have a partnership with these people. It's a big conflict of interest for them to have a partnership with sports betting companies. So now we just seen the WNBA sign a deal, which is why you're seeing the whole Caitlin Clark thing because they signed a deal. I think it's like a couple $1 billion for sports betting. So sports betting is the new thing. A lot of shit is going to be rigged. They're changing the rules. It's not hard for you to buy off certain. Look at the money they're giving these people. Are you fucking kidding me? Like you really think that some of these dudes' contracts should be this big, as big as they are? Who was that that's got a huge contract? I think it's CJ? Was it CJ Stroud? Who was that? Somebody got a huge contract, like the highest paid player of all times now. But a lot of these dudes don't deserve all that money, but that's why they're giving them all that money. It's all about the hype, and they can afford to do it because they have trillions of dollars coming in from this industry. And it's all entertainment. It's all a distraction. But the sports books is really in on all this shit. Yeah, all right. Taylor Swift ain't bring like, come on. Taylor Swift brought luck to her team, and that's why they won. All right. I mean, that one was the biggest one. That one made me just like, if I didn't know already what happened with, come a fuck on. Like seriously, the Chiefs just happened to win the Super Bowl, and the whole fucking controversy, the whole promotion has been Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, and Travis. Like, come the fuck on. That was so scripted and corny, and I was like, no fucking way. Everybody saw that coming. Yeah, a lot of hush money. I mean, it's nothing to go to these players and coaches, and you basically give them an offer, make them an offer they can't refuse, or you tell them that you're going to lose everything, legally, if you open your mouth. Like, these we don't know what go on behind closed doors, but there's a lot of strange shit you see in the NFL that I just be like, this some bullshit. Dudes scared to tackle, dudes like doing weirdo shit in sports, like that shit is all it's bullshit. Crystal, yeah, ODB talked about mind control a couple of interviews, and yeah, it was some deep shit. He definitely was woke. Yeah, Gramatria has a lot to do with sports betting and how these guys seemingly know. It's fucking crazy. A lot of that is so deep to get into. It's real complex. It's not. A lot of this shit is luck, and if you know, you know. But it's like a lot of that shit. Like I just lost. I lost my parlay today. I think about one. I think I was just talking about that earlier. It was like, let's see. Oh, actually, it was by two. I feel a lot better now. That was two games too. Oh shit! The Yankees came back and beat the Red Sox. So you guys can see sports bet. See all that green, win, 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 win. So this would have been a win, but these was the two that lost right here: Brewers and Red Sox. Which the Yankees came back and beat the Red Sox, and the Brewers just choked in the end. So yeah, like you can't really predict the shit. It's just like you know some you get some. There's a lot of luck involved a lot of times, but then some of it's kind of easy to see who's going to win, and you can't miss one. That's the thing about sports bet. You can't miss one. That was like I think it was like a 12 leg right there, and I got two wrong. So yeah, that's sports betting for you. Okay. Yeah, college sports is big and it's huge. So you know, again, players can be bought, referees can be bought. I don't think they leave any of that stuff to chance, to be honest. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's a good GTA playback. The radio would be wild, man. They give you a lot of the oldies, but they give you those little interviews and stuff. It's like in between the songs be deep. They give you a lot of little nuggets with that shit too. I seen that D Griff, a dude bailed out of jail from sports betting. Man, if Mike Tyson fight this dude, man, please. That's why they're putting that shit on Netflix. There's no way I would ever pay to see no shit like that. Like I already don't like like Jake Paul, his brother, whatever like that. Funny dudes, cool or what have you, but those fights look fixed. They look fixed to me. I don't trust those fights. If yeah, that shit rigged, man. I just don't try, especially the last one. This dude just was clearly not protecting himself on purpose. Woodley took a dive. Like that shit is like he paying dudes off, man. Like, and it is what it is. That shit is not real boxing. Fight a real boxer. You know, Tyson to me, even still Tyson at his age, I seen him train. Tyson should knock him the fuck out if it's real. That's how I feel about it. Even Tyson at his age should knock him out if it's real. But we'll see. That shit rigged though, yeah. Jay, I agree with you. Yeah. Hey, yeah, I mean, I win, here and there, sports betting and everything like that. Like I don't never, I have a limit. I set, everything. I always end up winning my money back, so it's cool. But yeah, that's a 10 out of 12 ain't bad. It's just you can't win them all. It's just the game. It's how it goes. Leo 77, hell yeah. I'm a big Floyd fan. I think Floyd is one of the best ever. Yeah, Mike Tyson supposed to. I think they moved it to excuse me, like October or something like that. His fight, yeah, is nobody want to see that shit. Yeah, 12. So 12 leg. I had a 15 leg parlay before. That's the biggest one I hit. 15 leg parlay. I usually stop at 8, but I get lucky sometimes. Like if I'm feeling a couple games, I might grab it. Like I was on the fence about that. The whole uh, Marlins Brewers game. I was going to pick the Marlins, but I still would have lost because I had Boston to beat the Yankees. I wasn't going to change that, and the Yankees ended up winning that one in extra innings. John Jones is the greatest MMA fighter ever. Like, But dude he can't lay off the booger sugar. You know, he gotta chill, man. Like hopefully he put it all together. I think he had a fight upcoming. I think it's like next month. I think he's supposed to fight maybe, but I think he's supposed to fight Cowboy. He's supposed to fight somebody. But John Jones is the best I've seen. Like that dude is he's a fighter. He's that's what he do. But I think they've been fucking with him. Um, Probably wanted him to take some dives, and he just wasn't with it. That everything that was happening with him would just seem so Illuminati, and I think he just wasn't with they shit, and he just took the consequences with all that bullshit. But John Jones is fucking great. Yeah, LeBron, that's his deal. That's LeBron's deal with them. You know, LeBron get all the fame and fortune. He had to put his sons up, and that's what he's doing. I don't knock it at all. There's a lot of people hate on that. So what? I mean, like his son is good. You know, should he got picked second round? Should he gotten that spot over some people? That remains to be seen. But like, come on, he has the genetics, the genes of LeBron James. He's going to be a good player. He looks good to me. I think he's NBA ready and he's going to be good. But it's what they want, you know, because who else is there? Kobe didn't have no sons. So we're hoping one of his daughters have sons that we see him in the NBA. That's going to be huge. But Kobe didn't have no sons. Jordan's sons they had issues. Like one of Jordan's sons, what's the one that I think it's Marcus, who played ball. Marcus was a beast. He was killing. He's just a fucking bully. And that's that's the critique that everybody got from him. He was a fucking bully, but he can ball. He was not corny. And why would you, like, you know, he didn't have to do the NBA. Fucking dad's a multi-billionaire, so it is what it is. So with the Jordans not making it, so we didn't have that, and they too old now. LeBron is the next up. And then now you're going to see a lot of these other, because if you pay attention now, I mean, look at it, Tim Hardaway Jr. and what's his name, Sabonis, and all these other back in the day players, Bol, whose dads was big in the league. Their kids is in the league now. That's what it's about. That's what they do. Bring your kids in. If I'm NBA or NFL and my kid takes a liking to the sport, I'm going to put him in because you know he's going to be successful and the type of money that comes off of that. But it also keeps you in the spotlight. So we'll see what happens. I think he's going to shock a lot of people though. Yeah, Anderson Silva is a legend. I don't know if Tim Duncan got kids or not. I'm not sure, but Tim Duncan is one of the greatest. The Wayne Wade son. How many sons that dude got? I know he got one that's out there, but that's a different subject. 'Cause selling your soul is selling your likeness, your energy. What you put out here on this planet during the time that you are alive is your life's work. That's your soul work. That's your energy. You put that out there. Once you get into, you sign your name to these people, they own it. You know, and even if you own your likeness in perpetuity and, you know, throughout the universe for all times or whatever like that, even if you own your masters and you own all this and that 100%, what you gonna do with it? You understand? You still gotta put it out. What you gonna put it out on? You gotta put it out on their platforms, so their radio stations, their TV networks, or else it's not worth no money. So they're always gonna own you. So it's like, it's metaphorical, but that's what that shit is about. You can't sell your soul, but you can sell your energy from this, you know, your likeness from this lifetime that you're living now. You can sell that, and then they can use it. They're making money off of Michael Jackson every single day. He's gone. They're making money off of him every day. Elvis, money off of him. All these past, and Whitney Houston, money. All these artists who die and pass on, actors or what have you, they're gonna continue to make money. Their energy gonna still be out here. Tupac dead and gone. We just got finished talking about Tupac. I mean, look at their energies traveling. You keep seeing the comparisons. Biggie, Tupac, people dead, and their names keep popping up. You know, that's what it is. That's selling your soul. They own it. That's not technically your soul, but your energy in that carnation. You know, where you at right now. They own that shit. Yeah. So I mean, if like knocking off sports player, if you don't take that deal, I mean, what are you going to do? That's mob style. That's mob shit right there. So it's like we're going to make you an offer you can't refuse. Don't refuse that shit, or it's a wrap. Because the fact that we came to you, there's no other. There is no no. Because we came to you and basically told you the shit was rigged, and you talking about some no, and we talking about giving you millions of dollars and crazy money, and you walking away from that to do what? What are you going to do with that knowledge now? You know what I'm saying? So even if you're gonna come out there and say something about it, or you're gonna like expose, or they'll off you quickly. I mean, it's different once one of these basketball stars then paid their dues and they come out on one of these, you know, what do you call it? One of these talk shows, what have you, and say something. They don't care about that. Excuse me. I think Gilbert Arenas been talking a whole lot. So if something happened to him, that's why, because he been running his mouth about the shit being rigged a whole lot. So watch out for that shit. Yeah, I want to get into sports too much. Yeah, they want to keep Haiti destabilized for a lot of reasons, man. Definitely payback from the wars. What they did to the French was brutal. They fucked them up, and them never really letting America get their hands on the politicians. And when they found out the politicians was crooked, they got rid of them. They assassinated their asses. So Haiti is full of power, man. Those dudes, they real voodoo, real energy, real knowledge, and those people are going through a lot over there. They will never let Haiti stabilize because those people have the energy of fighters. So it's like if you can't control these people, you're going to keep them destabilized, and been proven. It's been proven they can't control the Haitians. Like Haitians don't play that shit. So tomorrow they could put somebody in power and change the country around, but the Haitians is not going to let them do it. The Haitians not going to let a puppet come in power and come into play. That's that's real shit to me. Like I have so much respect for the Haitians for that because they refuse to sell out. Jamaica sold out. Just going to keep it real. Jamaica sold out. So you go to Jamaica now, Chinese basically own Jamaica. You go there, they're everywhere. You got Chinese Jamaicans walking around with Jamaican accents. White people in there, Jamaican accents. They sold out. And it's been a whole plight and struggle in Jamaica for them to not completely sell out. And it's like these rulers and leaders over there is selling the future away, plain and simple. And Haiti refused to do it. Puerto Rico refused to do it. It's a lot of these places that's refusing to completely sell out, and they want to keep their culture, rather than let the Americas come in there and change shit all around and have everything all jacked up. So you can't be mad at them for that. Yeah, Melo's son is a beast. Carmelo Anthony's son is a problem. Like he's a baller. Like he's like Kevin Durant baller. Like Kevin Durant eats, sleep, shit basketball. Like that's a hooper. KD just a baller. Like I had a friend named Brian that was just like him. That all he did ball, 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 ball until he got a girl pregnant, and that was like the end of his ball career. But he still was a hooper. Every time you seen him, he had a basketball. That was KD. If you look at his story, and this thanks to his mom, just all the dude did was ball. He's a baller. He's a hooper. And I think Melo's son is the same way. He got that energy of just he eats ball. He loves that shit. So I think he's gonna be a problem. And then he plays with a lot of motivation. Like he played like he got a chip on his shoulder, and he don't need to have one. Yeah, I seen Scottie Pippen Jr. play at Summer League here in Vegas. Man, he looked good. Yeah, a lot of skin bleaching in Jamaica and a lot of places. Yeah, Zodiac is deep. Talking about the harmony of the spears and how that all works with the energy, and where basically our we're tuning forks. We can be tuned and programmed, and where you was born. We get to astrology. Um, you was born. Those planets ruling your energy has a lot to do with influence on you and the way you can be moved and controlled. And music has a deep is a deep part of that. And it's a lot to get into with that. I want to go too deep into that in this video. But yeah, the planets play a big part. We got into that whole thing. Yeah, Haiti has a lot of natural resources, and they sitting on that shit. Haiti is not playing. And they won't even let them come in and excavate. And then the Haitians, they don't got the technology, they don't got the machines to do it. But it's something that they walking on over there that they want, and it's been there for a long fucking time. But the Haitians, for hundreds of years, have not let these people in there. And then now, like, what's going on? Like the aid that they getting now is all about food and supplies. They're not getting no bulldozers and dump trucks, and they're not allowing people to come in there and start digging up shit and tearing up shit on that ground. The Haitians not allowing it. And plus, they know if they did it and they dug it up and found it, they're gonna come in and kill their fucking ass and take it. So it's just like nobody's gonna have it. Crystal, yeah. Malcolm X found out that the NOI was bullshit. That's what he found out when he went to Egypt, when he went to Africa. Like he found out that these Muslims over here, these where Islam's supposed to have came from, they will kill us all if they knew how we was using Islam over in America. So you get how that shows you right there how Islam was created for those Arabs over there. And then you had Noble Drew Ali come over here to Americas and give us more science and give us, mix in with the Shriners and then bring the NOI, the whole situation with Elijah Muhammad and all that. All that shit was just the controlled Islam that the Jews control. They control that shit. And them basically hiding behind. So it's like, of course, they're not going to let us come out here and do our own thing. We'll figure shit out that way. So you have to control religion in every facet. They had Christianity. They wanted to control a different sect of Islam. And in that sect, what do you see? You see a lot of white folks in there, a lot of Shriners. All that shit is all mixed up in one. But Malcolm X saw the plan. He saw what they was doing. He seen what was really over there, and he talked about it. And he was like, "Yo, his speech that he was about to give that day when he was killed was about to be everything. He was about to basically reveal like what's really going on and what they're trying to do. And they killed him before he can give that full speech. But if he would have gave that full speech, that's what he would have been talking about. He would have been talking about what he really seen over there, which he talked about a little bit. But he would have been saying, hey, he would have basically said, hey, we've been tricked. These dudes are fucking agents. And all this shit is some bullshit. We need to get out of it. It's not the real Islam. This is the real Islam. But then, he probably was questioning that as well once he saw Egypt. Same thing with Khalid Muhammad. Khalid Muhammad went over there. Remember, he went from, his Khalid Muhammad, Islam, and the deeper parts of it to just conscious. In the end, he was talking about Kemet. He was talking about Egypt because he's seen the truth. And he's like, hey, this is some bullshit. And he got out of that. And, it's crazy. They get us out of here. They get us out of here quick once you wake up. And he was Phil Donahue show. He had a fucking platform that was too strong for him to be in right consciousness and them to allow him to go on. Of course, yeah, Farrakhan is a puppet, man. And it's hard for people to accept that because, yeah, I like Farrakhan. Gotta love the guy. But Jews control that dude. There's no way around that shit. Like, come on, everybody else is dead but you. What did you do? Who are you with that you are still alive? One, remember, he came out and told you I killed Malcolm X. Of course of course they control him. You killed Malcolm X. You had him killed. He basically told that to his daughter, to her face. Yeah, he's in. Yeah, Khalil was the truth, man. Yeah, both of those dudes with the Kemet, Malcolm X and Khalid Muhammad. What's going on with CERN? CERN is working on like some deep shit. Existence at its smallest level. I talked about CERN. I think it's Saturn, Satan. I talked about it in frequency and vibration. A lot of videos. CERN doing some crazy shit. Jews own it all, man. And it's not even Jews. Jews don't. It still goes back to the white man. It goes back to Rome. Rome is running it all. Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Freemasonry, all of it. They control all that shit. That's all them. And they're showing you and telling you all the time it's them. They control all that shit. Not a coincidence you're seeing all these major events in Italy. All these celebrities always there. It's Rome. Excuse me. Kevin Hart was just saying that the Egyptians is black. Like, everybody should know that by now. He got a lot of backlash for that. They canceled his show in Egypt because he said that. No, listen, y'all understand. I said this before in my Egypt video. I argue with these Arabs a lot, man. It's a lot of sites, a lot of pages on Instagram that's dedicated to ancient Egypt, right? So a lot of these dudes are Arab, and they post a lot of fabricated bullshit ass pictures. So a lot of these Arabs, they really believe that they are the descendants of the ancient Egyptians, not even realizing that they wasn't even there in Egypt before the Romans. So they don't even know their history. So they'll argue you up and down that Egypt, that they are the descendants of the Egyptians and everything like that, when these people are descendants of tomb raiders and grave robbers, which is what I tell them all the time. Listen, Rome mocks the Last Supper. Rome mocks Jesus, man. All that shit is just for controversy. They don't believe in none of that shit. Yeah, the opening of the Olympics. Like a lot of people was like, I didn't watch it. I'll catch it. I seen a little bit of it. I'll catch the rest of it on YouTube. But yeah, I already know all of them. It's always some Illuminati bullshit because the Olympics is Greek. Yeah, Arabs really be thinking, man. They really think that they are. I mean, they will argue you up and down. I done dealt with some of the most racist Arabs ever on Instagram that straight call you nigger with the ER and call you slave. And they'll talk down to you and they swear up and down you are wrong. And, why are you trying to steal our history and all kinds of shit like that? Like, they are radical with it. And it's like, dude, you wasn't even there. Y'all wasn't even there before the Romans. What are you talking about? Like it's documented. Like they don't know. They're getting taught a completely different history. They don't even know their own history. They have no clue. I don't know what they're teaching them in schools over there, but they have no clue of their own history. Like it's ridiculous. And I'm like, dude, like, you guys had a whole. It's called the Arab invasion. This is how you got there. Rome was there first. You guys beat the Byzantines, and they allowed you to beat them. They basically let you walk in and take the place over because they didn't want Africans to have Egypt. So that's the whole point of the Arabs being there and the whole point of them being created. And I got into that whole thing. Like these people are a created people. They don't even know that. They think that they are of pure race. They have no idea that they are a mixture. And they don't even know. That's why they call it sand niggers. They call them that. It's because you are a mixture. You have African in you. And they don't even realize that they were created for that reason to be basically a shield for Rome and Greece. That's what they are. Same. That's what Islam is about. We can't go into these lands and do what we need to do. So we need these Arabs who we created to go in and do it for us. And we're going to give them a religion and say they're doing this stuff based off the religion, because if we allow them to continue to be Jews and Christians, that's what everybody's going to go back and look to. So, because remember, you go back before Islam, Arabs was Jews, they was Christian, and then they gave them their own religion because they was going to need to give them that so they can basically be attached to that religion when they go out and do their dirty work. So now Rome can use Islam and use the Arabs to go bomb shit and do crazy stuff and be the boogeyman to scare everybody else. Because if they didn't do that, and these people are claiming Judaism, Christianity, then, you know, where's God in all this whole thing? So that's why that shit was created. Oh yeah, no problem. What's that? The reafter? Yeah, like man, I got a lot of Spanish followers, a lot of Latinos, a lot of Mexicans follow me and always have good questions about what's going on. And it's like, you know, they try to separate us, and it's a lot of people that don't understand the history of where they come from. And you know, it's not to put anybody down, but it's like, man, like y'all history is deep, and you got to understand, like one, you know, if you speak Spanish, it's a Romanist language. Spanish is a Romanist language, meaning you're a descendant of Romans. Like that's where you come from. That's where your deepest descendants come from. So remember, Spain was called Hispania. Hispania. And Spain, what do they speak? Spanish. So again, Spanish is a Romanist language. So only thing that happened is, you know, you have the indigenous people where the, Puerto Ricans come from. So in Puerto Rico, you have the Taino. I talk about this in one of my videos. The Taino was the indigenous people of South America, dark skin. Columbus fucking basically wiped them mostly out. Vasco da Gama and all them went in there and butchered and killed these people to the point where they had to bring in Africans from Africa to basically run the sugar plantations and all that. And then they would mix in. And then, of course, there was raping and having babies with these people. And this is how we get the lighter. Because once everything was done and shit was smooth and it was building shit, the Romans did the same thing. They sent their people over there. You know, Spain. You know, this is why the Haitians had a problem, because they tried to do that shit in Haiti. They sent all those freaking Spanish people over there, which would be Romans. They sent them over there to go and try to live there, and they wasn't having it. They was killing those people, chopping their heads off and stuff like that. The French as well. So that's what would happen. You know, they would come there after the land was basically colonized. They would come bring their people in, and they would mix in and then move on. And this is how we get, Dominican, well, the light ones, Puerto Ricans, the light ones. It's a mixture. That's all it is. But you have black in you have African in you. And I talked about with Cardi B, who was smart enough to even know that herself, to say, hey, you think I get these features from two white people fucking? She knew her history. She understands. You got black in her, African in her. If you're Spanish, you have black in you. You just mix. You have that Roman in you, that bloodline, when you trace it all the way back. It's where the language comes from. You speak in Spanish, it's in you. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Monster 33. Yep. Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, all Romanist languages. Correct. Yeah, so they try to separate it. So like in Spain, they want to separate from, the Hispanics, the South America. They want to separate from that language, because even in Mexico, what they speak Spanish. It's just a different, a couple different dialects. So it's a lot. My uploads, I appreciate you. Peace. Why does my beard look glued on? Because I was so stressed when I was going through this IRS. I'm still going through this IRS shit. Like, like my hair grew right here really well. Now it's just like, oh, now I already decide. It just stopped growing. I have like a bald spot right here. And unless I let it grow long, you would see like it's a patch. So my hair is not glued on. This is my beard. It actually gets fuller than this. I cut it off at one point. I just now started letting it grow back. But I was like so stressed out with all that shit was going on, and yeah, that's what happens, and it's not good. You got heart issues being stressed out. So yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that's what's up with the hair, and I probably need to comb it to probably look better. D Grip, yeah, I love Mexico. Mexico is like one of my favorite places to go. I'm there a lot. Yeah, the Spanish conquered a lot, man. Like you gotta remember, like I talked about with Ferdinand and Isabella, and how, remember, once the war was done, because they sent the Moors in, the Islamic Moors, the Arab Moors, to go into Spain and take that land from black folks. Before that, you know, um, it was a part of Mauritania. And I talked about that. All that was called Mauritania, that little part of northern part of Africa, which they had Spain as well. So it wasn't until Rome took it over, which they sent in, as I said, the Moors to do their dirty work, the Arab ones, that they changed it. Excuse me. But that's what happened. Once they changed it, they put Ferdinand and Isabella on a throne, sent Columbus there to basically be run by them, and they the one who put him on his whole expedition, which he was taking orders from Rome as well. So it's documented. All that stuff is there. What happened? It's documented. They wasn't on a throne before. The land was conquered. They put them on a throne, and then they sent a bunch of Roman people over there to Spain to live and populate or what have you. Same way, you see in like Libya, what's going on over there now, and Angola, Morocco. That's what they did. Alexandria, Egypt, because it's close to the water, so you get a lot of white folks up there as well. We all use astrology to our advantage every single day, man. Astrology, uh, and man, they're using it against us at this point. But yeah, come over. No, so like they settled the Moors up, the original Moors. It wasn't that like one, you had a lot of Moors sell out, and then Arabs took over. But I mean, they set them up. It's I'm trying to remember. It's a movie where it kind of give you insight into what happened with them. That movie escapes me right now, but basically they paid them a shitload of money, right? One, they got the knowledge, and then they gave these Moors a shitload of money, and they went and just lived high. They gave them women, they gave them money, they gave them whatever they needed, and while they was this was all executed at the same time. The ones who didn't sell out, they killed them all. They wiped them out at the same time. It was a whole decree that went out, and they basically simultaneously wiped these dudes out back to back to back to back. And then you had the ones that sold out, that was running around teaching these Arab Moors how to do shit. But that's what happened with them. It wasn't even like a war. They couldn't even have no fight. They was wiped out Assassin's Creed style. And I talked about that in the video, how they was killed. Same way, like Assassin's Creed. It was all assassinated, all wiped out, like systematically gone. The ones who didn't sell out. Yeah, more Latinos need to speak up, but a lot of them don't know their history. A lot of them have no idea like what's going on. And I remember, you got to remember, a lot of people believe that their race is just an original race. Like Arabs believe that they just always been here, that they're not a mixture. A lot of Spanish people don't know that they're a mixture. They just think they always been here. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the problems that we have. A lot of people just don't they don't know their identity. They don't know where they come from. Third eye perception. What's the deal? Yeah, that's a good question. They never got a chance to. And, why didn't they build an army to stop being conquered? Never had a chance to. When you get stabbed in the back, that's what happens. So execute Order 66. I talk about this a lot. It's the same thing. Star Wars. What happened with that? They caught the Jedi off guard, and you thought everything was good, everything was smooth. We in the midst of battle, everything going right, and then your own people turn on you. And that's what happened with them. They didn't have a chance. We had people that sold out, and then they caught everybody off guard by surprise. And that's what happens when somebody who you think is an ally turn on you. That's the only way they was going to win. Because had we geared up and had a chance to fight, there's no way that we would have lost. They wouldn't have beat us. So everything was surprise attack, systematically take it down, boom, boom, boom. And once that happened, it was over. Yeah, Africans has been the most. We don't have a history of taking over shit from nobody. There's no history of African people going into any country and trying to take their shit. It's just we don't do that. That's just all European shit. Oh yeah, Assassin's Creed, man. If you're a gamer, man, you need to be playing Assassin's Creed. They give away everything, man. It's a lot of. I mean, they're talking all about the Ptolemies in Assassin's Creed. They get into the Ptolemies, and everything that was going on. You can get a lot of good history from playing those games. How do you ever? Let me see. How do you get over someone? It depends on the person you're trying to get over. It's it's relationship shit. That shit gonna hurt. It just is what it is. Or somebody dying. It's time. That's the only way to really get over somebody is time. Just like focusing on what you need to do with yourself and just making sure you did everything to make the person feel loved or to make the person feel like appreciated and everything like that. That's it. If you did everything you're supposed to do and it didn't work out, you got nothing to regret right there. You did what you can do. But if you fucked up, then you fucked up and you need to make amends. Yeah, yeah, Jerome. Assassin's Creed Origins. That's the game I'm talking about. That thing is deep. Yeah, I'm ex-military, so I know we got bases everywhere. Bases you wouldn't even think we had bases at. That's what you do. It's chess. They surround every place they know they need to have a base there. So if you even think to move, you want to get froggy, they gonna launch something on you or drop some bombs on you, and that's what they done. The shit is strategic. They put bases everywhere, and that's one of the problems that we had when shit was more free around the world. A lot of these countries had issues with America being in so many different places. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean Haiti is a part of that area, man. They wanted to their goal take all the Caribbean islands. I mean, it's the same thing we seen with Hawaii. You remember Hawaii? They mixed in. A lot of these leaders took deals to save their people. Like and that's all. That's all it takes. get in there, infiltrate, talk to the leader, and let him know, hey, we're going to start some shit if you don't do this. And that's what happened to a lot of these countries. Excuse me. In Hawaii, I showed you guys that whole thing where, King Kamehameha, dark skin. The royal family was dark skin, in Hawaii. They got bought out, they sold out, white man came in, mixed in. Same thing that happened in China, same thing that happened in a lot of different places. Those leaders sold out. So what's happening in Jamaica right now. Those leaders are selling out. And, white man coming over and mixing in. It's the same MO. It's been going on for centuries. Monster 33, take it easy. All right, yeah, so make sure you guys, before you guys back out of here, make sure you guys go ahead. The link is in the description to get your spot for the live stream on Tuesday. So it's $24.99 in the link that's in the description. Make sure you guys go ahead and grab it, because when this live is about to end, that link is going to be done in like 5 minutes after this live ends. So make sure you guys go to the link in the description. Get your spot right now for only $24.99. It's going to go back up once this live ends. So I did this for you guys, for everybody that came in and joined, for you guys, so you can get the your spot for the live stream on Tuesday at MGM. You can get your spot right now for only $24, $24.99. Make sure you guys grab that and support, because we need to support. It's probably like only six people that got it since I've been on live. So make sure you guys grab it for that price. Only $24.99. This is what I be talking about. This is what I can do. I'll be trying to make shit a little bit cheaper. Make sure you guys take advantage. Oh yeah, cartridge. So when you start going back and researching, Spain, I mean, you're going to see it's a lot of correspondence with the Greeks, but we're talking about Black Greece, because that's where it was at. It's the same thing, the same area, the same land, and there's almost like not a simultaneous takeover, because Greece was taken over long before that. But we see that with Spain, there was a connection with, of course, Mauritania, where Morocco is today, and Egypt and Greece and what have you. But this was all Black land. So again, when I always post that conquest map of Rome, you see what it encompasses. That top ring of Northern Africa, Spain, and then those other European countries. That's what they took over. Why would they take it over if it was already white folks there? You understand what I'm saying? That was conquest of them taking their land from Black folks. Yeah, it's not just in white birth rate that it's a decline in I-10. It's also happening in a lot of Asian countries as well, because a lot of people just choosing, success over having kids. But pretty soon it's going to be a genetic thing. It's just going to be the fact that they're getting wiped out a lot. And it's one of the things they're not talking about. So what's her name? Jane Elliott came on and talked about it, seeing the decline in the birth rate of white people, and just talking about how many white people are dying from melanoma and cancer every fucking year. 200,000 a year just gone. So it's the number one killer of Europeans is melanoma, and that's what's happening. The sun is strengthening, and this is what I was talking about before in Saturn Satan, what's to come and what they know was coming. So they're getting ahead of all that whole thing with what's going on. But yeah, make sure you guys jump in there in the link. I got a video I'm gonna put out tonight on YouTube. So make sure you guys go ahead and grab your spot for the lecture. I see a lot of people dipping out. So make sure you guys go ahead, because I'm about to get off this live now, and that link is going to be down in probably about 10 minutes. So make sure you guys grab it for $24.99. Yeah, thanks for participating in this live real quick. I didn't really want to get into everything I wanted to get into, because we didn't even have 200 people. But there's going to be another live coming up on Tuesday, maybe before that, but definitely Tuesday before we get into the whole lecture on Tuesday. There'll be another live, and I'll post that. But this video will be posted. The link is in the description. Make sure you guys, again, take advantage of the sale before it goes down. And yeah, I'll see you guys next video. Peace.